Okay, we're up on everything. So, Dom, what do you think of last night?
Man, honestly, it was a kind of a weird night. It reminded me a lot of the night that Starks won. It seemed like a lot of good qualifiers didn't really make it through the heat races. Um, the heat races it was good racing, but it was really tough. Like, seemed like, it was hard to make it through from that fourth row. Even the third row, a lot of guys had problems. I would say my three biggest surprises were I knew Tim's was good. I was blown away with how dominant that main event performance was. Um, I was blown away with Donnie's heat race performance, going from inside of transfer to outside of
So,
transfer.
so go off about that one because I've only seen it live. That was the heat where Wyndham got a great run up the bottom, so I would have assumed Donnie had a great start. I've only saw it live. What happened there?
I don't really know. And obviously heat race time, I was just getting home, so I had it on, and I missed the first lap, and then I come back and I'm like, where is Donnie? And then he was back in sixth.
Damn it!
Um, I just I don't know. Not par for the course for him. I will say the racetrack was much wetter than he probably would have liked, but I don't know. It blew me away that they had that kind of struggle there last night. I feel like Knoxville's almost always been a safe spot for Donnie, no matter what the situation is. But I mean, I just can't help but think, I mean, man, he must really be uncomfortable.
Yeah, and then obviously the other one people are going to want us to talk about is gravel.
Yep.
My dad has a pretty hot take on that one, which is I don't know if it's hot, but are we really booing the shit out of David Gravel because he talked shit about Kyle Larson one time and it wasn't even really that much shit talking? Like I think
So,
I think I think we've seen the crash enough. Can we first of all establish what happened in the crash? Basically, because there's a bunch of things you got to touch on, but basically in the crash, it looks to me, and I think you'll agree that Schoenberg gets arrow tight and can't make the corner, has a terrible angle, and just plows into the side of Gravel. Gravel did nothing wrong.
I agree, but I also think that that is 100% correct in every way, shape, and form. But I also think that David had a really light front end, because I think when he, like, if you watch, it looks like he almost is wheeling at the end of the straightaway from arrow. And I almost feel like when he sets the nose down, that he's 5 foot lower than he had anticipated on being. But yes, Schoenberg went in there completely arrow tight and smacked into the side of him. He would have smacked into the side of him if there was 5 more feet.
Yeah,
Um, David couldn't have done anything.
and the other thing I wanted to mention that on that crash is I saw a lot of people trashing Gravel for being down there when he had the whole top. And I don't think people realize it was well established that the bottom was the way to go. So when that happens, and you can explain the driver's side more than this, there's always that bottom, but there's also that strip of grip around the middle. And those two are generally what you need to do on a start like that. You don't have enough speed basically built up where you can run the top. Now, like Sam in our heat, yeah, we ran the top, but we were in row two. Um,
Yeah.
we were basically going for like a clean
People don't
spot.
understand the air. They
Yeah.
just don't understand the air. Like, you go into the first corner on a heat race or a main event after that fourth row at a place like Knoxville, and I mean, in a way, you're driving a non-wing sprint car. I mean, you roll in there, and all these wings in front of you are punching these air pockets that are 5 foot by 5 foot. And when you get in there, all of the air is taken up. So you'll see a lot of guys run the car a lot more sideways, and trying to either get lower or higher is trying to get air on your sideboard to help the car turn and make it through the corner. Um, that's why I think he was down where he was, because a lot of times when the guy enters in front of you, if I can just be half a car width below or half a car width above, I can get some of the air on my wing to make it through the first corner, and then you can kind of start racing. But that's not what happened, and I mean, he got sent into orbit. But I don't think David could have done anything. And with the booing, I mean, fuck. All right, so yes, he's had some moments in the past where him and Kyle have raced really hard, and he's a little upset about it. So the only thing I didn't like about the back and forth, I felt like Kyle's tweet was a home run, knock it out of the park. I felt like I wrote the tweet, honestly. And then then when David's reply, I wish David would have played into it more, just kind of like what Kyle said. But I like David and I like Kyle, and I think both of them have valid points. But I mean, at the end of the day, Kyle is the savior and the golden child on a lot of stuff. So I don't think even if Kyle was the bad guy on this, he's never going to get the hate that a guy like David's going to get. And David's winning a lot of races, probably even more so than Kyle if you look at it, because David's winning a lot of outlaw races. So that whole fan base is like, oh, it's the David Gravel show. Where Kyle, he's kind of sporadic in and out. And I don't think it's as stale, even though, like, for me, it's like, God, I'd love to see somebody beat Kyle. Um, so I don't know. Fans kind of are, it's odd like that. I mean, dude, the guy, you want that. I think you want that. You
This
should
is
be
this
so.
was going to be my point. Fans always complain about, oh, these drivers are cookie cutter, and then the second someone says something where it's like, this is what they really feel. You want to know what David Gravel feels right now? He just told you what he really feels right now. And I guess on one hand, booing is a reaction, and it is the crowd into it. But you think he really wants to say what he feels anymore?
Well,
Like,
yeah. And I mean, that's the thing. Everybody has made a mistake. I mean, everyone has. You put a mic in front of them, or you have all these emotions, and then you say the thing that maybe isn't the most popular, and you get fucking roasted for it. So that makes. I mean, you and I have talked about like doing live shows. It's hard because whatever you say is out there for life, and I just it's unfortunate that so many people reacted negative to it because he was speaking his piece. He was being the real David Gravel, and then everyone hates it. And it's like, hang on, this guy does have somewhat of a point. I mean, it's hard racing, but hey, he feels he's been wronged. He feels he's been run out of room. And I mean, yeah, you don't want guys running into each other, but how badass was it that he fucking spins the guy out and then parks next to him? The only thing I wish they'd have got out and rolled around. But I mean, what more do you want from a race? I mean, if that was the live show that High Limit had, holy shit, the ratings would have gone through the roof.
yeah. We got a couple comments. Someone said that Christopher said the track's getting swamped today. At least it'll be similar conditions both nights. I'm in the Hall of Fame right now. I actually plan to record this outside in front of Sam's rig, and so that fans could watch teams work. But yeah, it is getting swamped. We had a glob of red on the radar go over Knoxville probably for the last 2 or 3 hours. I do think they'll get the race in tonight without issue, but holy crap, did it rain, and holy crap, is everything wet. Uh, yeah, so then the other issue that I really saw that I think isn't nearly as controversial just because how it got handled was the McFadden Lynch deal. Obviously, you're buddies with James. What were your thoughts on that? I'm gonna say I haven't heard James's interview. I was at the track. He was giving his interview, but there was so much noise that you couldn't hear it.
Dude, James is such a good guy. Like, I mean, I don't know how you couldn't not love James. And I like Silot as well. But I mean, really, I'll tell you exactly what it was. It was two guys racing for the last transfer who have a lot of points on the line. And, Cy was running the bottom and James was kind of pacing him wherever he went. Last corner, Cy rolls the bottom. James blows it in around his right rear. Cy slides across. James is able to get it turned back down the hill off of four, which is like the famous spot to be able to do that. Cy's coming down the straightaway. James hits the bottom. And, I felt Cy was coming way down and they made contact. Both of those guys at that point, the finish line is at your front end. You've got to keep driving. You've got to keep going. You can't lift. You just got to go and hope that the contact is good for one of you. And
To make
unfortunately,
and that was the Nationals. Like whoever got there first was getting in the Knoxville Nationals.
right. Well, that's the point. It's like nobody did anything wrong. Like they were both racing their ass off. But um, was Cy making a left turn? Absolutely. Absolutely he was. Who in the hell isn't going to make that left turn? Because, hey, I've slid off a four. I've lost speed. I got to get 150 feet this way. The best thing I can do is close that lane up, and you hope that that guy's at your left rear and not at your door. And by the time he sees him, they're wheel to wheel, and there's contact made, and Cy junks a race car.
So we had some technical issues there. We should be going again now. Uh, yeah. So who were some performers who impressed you? I got my few, but who surprised you with how well they ran?
I would say the first one would be Emerson Axel. I mean, that's still a very fresh pairing. Obviously, the car was great last year at Knoxville. Emerson was great at Knoxville last year, but to come in and I mean, make it through your heat race and then have a strong run there through the main event, I felt like they did a really good job. And I mean, +1 on the score sheet doesn't really tell you like the story. He fell back early. He drove back up through the field. I felt like he did a really good job. And this is the kind of race where all eyes are on you. You're in a new deal. The car has a new driver, all that kind of stuff. So to run well is important. And I mean, they did it. So that's, I felt like that was awesome for them. And, Emerson, and I've said it before, I think he's a dog, man. Like he's a hell of a driver. I don't think it's going to take long for them to just completely mesh well, but I mean, it showed last night they were very good.
Yeah, another guy who, again, JJ looks smart. We a few podcasts ago, you weren't on, but we talked about young up and coming drivers and who the future was. And Sam, sorry, I was reading Master Gasser's comment there. JJ said Jack Anderson was one of those guys you got to watch.
I'd never heard the name. I
He
didn't
races.
know.
He races here weekly. He races in the 360 class with us last year, and then this year he moved up to the 410 class. It took a couple weeks for him to actually get racing. I don't know if they had engine issues or something, but I believe he wasn't racing for the first couple weeks. A couple weeks ago, he's running top 5, had a part break and crashed. Now we were thrashing pretty hard on the 15H car. When I looked at the lineup for the B main, I just figured he was going to get smoked. You know better than me. I literally didn't see a lap. We changed 3 bars on the 15H during that time. So was it just a solid run? Like what we have go on there?
I was watching it with my wife and her cousin, and we were sitting on my couch, and I'm going, "Who is this fucking guy?" Like the car was so fast, but like he'd nail a corner around the bottom, and the next time he'd just slide across it, and I'm like, you as a driver, you probably were like, I have no idea where this guy's going, but holy fuck, was he fast? I mean, he really was. He obviously in the heat race he did a good like he was going to transfer out. In his heat race, he ripped around the top of the first corner and got a good corner, and then ripped around the top of 3 and 4, and someone slid up and he had to bail out of it. And that honestly is what put him in the B main. I think he would have transferred through. So I was thoroughly impressed. That was probably the most impressive thing from the night for me. Yeah, I mean, fuck, I didn't expect that at all. And then also, Master Gassers, I said it when we got cut off. I love your stuff. I love what you post. So thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, Master Gasser says Sam impressed me, and Christopher said Sam did great for sure. I think people think like we did this whale of a job uh, surviving from the 74th pill draw. The honest truth is we could have gone out earlier and we'd have ended up in the same spot, and I'll explain why. Uh, we got a motor back, and it's got like 20 more horsepower than it's ever had. The torque numbers are insane. So we knew we'd be able to generally run quick laps. Like if you watched our time trial laps at the Capitani, they were god awful, and that engine basically carried us through to a eighth place time trial. Well, to be truthful, we really didn't have the car good until the A main. So like you can do your dream of, oh, I wanted to start in the third or fourth row, and then we ran so good we'd come through. But the reality is, in the heat, we were still searching. This motor just has too much power on top of the track, and in the heat, I can be honest, we probably got the easiest heat to transfer out of if you were starting in the top 4. A lot of those heats had really experienced guys in the top 4. We had easier guys that don't like. Blake Hahn is a great racer, but he doesn't run a 410 a lot. Xavier Doney's pretty new, and I think everyone agrees that Hank Davis is really good. He just doesn't have a lot of time in a 410. So to be honest, we took advantage of that. But then in the A main, like we made wholesale changes for the A main, and we got the car really damn good. But it's still on top of the track. So actually, what the guys are doing today when it stops raining is we're going to actually go to our other motor because it doesn't spin the tires so bad. We feel like we have the balance really, really good. But to do this, oh man, if we'd have just gone out earlier, that's not true. We would not. If where we were at on the car, we would not have come out of the third or fourth row in any of those heats. We were too on top of the track. We didn't have a good enough balance. So the reality is, it doesn't seem like it, but things did go our way. Like we were able to get a heat that we could get through to buy us time to get the car dialed for the feature.
So I guess my question for that is, with it running, the engine running better, you felt like it unhooked you guys? You felt like it
Yeah,
really?
yeah, yeah.
I didn't watch qualifying. Did it fall off?
It fell off. I think people will say no, it didn't. David Gravel still went out and went fourth. I watched David Gravel go by. Mother of God, if he went out early, he was probably going to put a tenth and a half, 2 tenths on the field. His car was unbelievable. There were guys like Pack and McCarr. There were guys that could go late, but I just think if you put them out early, they'd have been really, really good. Like, I think they'd have all been, I don't know if I'd say top 5, but very, very, very good.
Yeah.
I'm just going through the comments here. Master Gassers is a big fan of you.
Yeah, Dog Fan needs to get me a 26 hat because Kevin won't.
Damn it, that's rude.
Kevin keeps telling me he's not going to let me have any of the 26 stuff till I drive the car, and I'm not allowed to drive it.
Okay, so we have Master Gassers asking what are our thoughts on the Hard Knocks rules. I like it, but people seem to think guys like them should be able to race though. The Hard Knocks thing, I'll never complain about it just because it's so much better than what we used to have on Friday night. Like this race for decades tried to make the Friday night make sense. I don't know if newer fans realize, like, we used to have like a mystery feature. We used to have a race of states. The A main on Friday used to lock you into 11th in the C main if you won it. So just nothing about. I will never complain about the Hard Knocks night because it's easily the best thing. I'm trying to get the exact question he's asking. I think he's saying guys locked into B should have the freedom.
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
I'll give an answer on that, and I think Dom, you'll remember. The first year we did this format and we allowed people to take it off. If you remember, Lasowski was there in the Zemco car, and he was an absolute bullet. I think everyone would agree he had the fastest car, and he got taken out in the heat on his prelim night, and they were locked into the B main, and they basically bet on themselves. They gambled, and then their Friday night Hard Knocks. This was the very first Hard Knocks night. Went terrible. And I don't think fans realize we watched that and everyone went, whoa, if we're locked in, we're not taking that risk.
Yeah.
Like the fastest car the whole weekend. Like, I'm sure Schatz had something to say for it, but just in terms of like every time they hit the track, Lasowski was a rocket. They went to the Hard Knocks night and it blew up in their face terribly.
So I could have swore what year was that? It had to be my first year of running the Nationals. I locked into the B off my preliminary night. I felt like I had the option to run the Hard Knocks night.
They did, but they've eliminated it now. Yeah. This is what he's saying. Do we like that?
Yeah, I don't know why you would. Why on earth would you want to? I mean, I'm telling you right now, if I'm David Gravel and I've locked into the B, I'm thinking, hey, you know what? I've got to pass 4 cars or however many it is, 6 cars to get in. I know I have to pass 4 to 6 cars to get into the show in 20 laps or 25 laps. I have no idea what we're going to get on Hard Knocks night. It could rubber up. I could have a bad pill drop. I mean, there's so many variables. I don't know.
The Hard Knocks night and the Capitani night are very ruthless nights. Like, you set quick time in like a friggin' 40, a group of 40. You have to like basically time up front, and then you go and you actually do it. You set quick time, and then it's like, hey, have fun. You're starting out of a transfer.
Hey, Jesse, I just saw your comment. Free merchandise if anyone throws a dildo at Knoxville tonight. I would absolutely lose my mind.
Oh, well, I'm going to do a little, let people know a little bit. On the drive down, I tried to call you. You didn't answer because you don't like me. but I was working through a GASM award for the Nationals this week, and I wanted the trophy to be a dildo that like we engraved with like a shitty engraver, and be like the took it up the ass. The GASM took it up the ass award for like the guy. Give like $100 to the guy who like last night it would be Gravel. Gravel would have won the GASM award last night, but that one didn't seem to be too popular in the group chat when I started to to suggest we do a GASM award.
Oh man. Um, yeah, dude. I tell you what, like that ruins your whole Knoxville. Like with the night that Gravel had. I mean, he's a contender to win the Nationals. Now he's not. I mean, I don't see anybody going to win from 19th or 20th. I don't think it's going to happen.
No, but I also didn't think Tim's was going to win from eighth last night. And then what's funny there is we lined up 10th and we had basically like the same view of it. We're like, okay, these guys are smart racers. They're going bottom middle. They're all we'll try to blast the top. And it just worked out. Axum just took our line and Tim's was just in front of that. And like, if we could have got that start, but that's racing. I mean, what do you do?
Yeah.
Any other takeaways? Who do you expect to be fast tonight?
Well,
I think first of all, I think the obvious question is what's Ryan Timms going to do off the pole? Because to beat Ryan Timms right now, you have to time in the top three and run. I think he ran fourth in his heat, so you got to get to third in your heat. You've got to outperform that, so he's likely on the pole. What do you think of his chances if he's off the pole or front row?
the speed that he had last night was different level speed. I mean, it really was different level. We have no idea what the track's going to be. We have no idea what weather's going to do. I didn't know it was going to rain today, and obviously it's raining, so that's going to make heat races really hard tonight as well. So someone is going to have to be spectacular. I think of like the year my brother was on the pole. He had a pretty spectacular performance, but he didn't win from eighth. So I think he's your pole sitter. I mean, Kyle maybe does something insane tonight, but outside of Kyle, maybe Gio. I mean, I just don't know. I'm trying to pull up.
Macedo was the other guy we were looking at. Is like,
I think Carson's really good. I don't think he has what it takes to do that. I mean, car wise, I just don't think they're good enough to beat it. I really don't.
I think if they get the track I'm looking at right now, they're gonna rip.
You think so?
Yeah, like if there's grip, I think they're gonna be fast as hell. But that also means Kyle Larson's gonna be fast as hell.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm trying to find where is a good place to find the lineup for tonight. Can I find it on my phone?
Probably on Twitter, on Knoxville Twitter.
172 people on our show.
Damn it. And if we wouldn't have gone off air, it probably would have been better. I just like bullshitting about this stuff, though, so I don't even really care if a ton of people tune in.
And it doesn't seem like things are too crazy in the office right now, so I'm going to keep going as long as I can.
Okay. It looks like it stopped raining and there's nicer weather coming. They're supposed to get an inch of rain today. They definitely, I feel like, got the inch of rain today. But with the paved pits just changed the game so much. They have so much less that they have to dry.
Right.
And with no more rain coming, they can go as late as they want. So I think we should be in pretty good shape. I'm not too worried about that. I'm just going through the comments. Tim's start was unbelievable. Definitely. I just feel like it's like when Reitzel was on the pole years ago. It's like, he was fast. But like, I remember one night Sam and I went to Dingus and just on a regular day, I think. And we were talking to Reitzel about the year he was on the pole. And he said, you know what? I just wasn't ready. Like, we were plenty fast and all that, but he just wasn't ready to win the Knoxville Nationals. And I just don't know where to put them, because I think Tim's is kind of a different breed. Like, I've basically raced the last several years with him. I've been either at Knoxville or ASCS, or he's I don't feel like he's the kind of kid that gets frazzled. It's just, will they have the car good for 50 laps? And he's going to have to make elite decisions.
Yeah. So I got the Thursday night. I'm going to run through this and just tell you guys that I think will be contenders. And then I'm going to tell you the 3 guys that I think stand out. So Schuhart will be good.
Schuhart is always, every time I'm at Knoxville, it's like Starks. I used to watch Starks at Skagit and go, his car's awesome. Why doesn't he win? That's how I feel about Schuhart.
Yeah.
I never watch Schuhart's car and think, man, that's like, I always think it looks dialed. And he's never really been in a spot to win this race.
I'll tell you right now, I think one of the top 3 best cars in the entire country is the 1A. That car looks so comfortable, so fast, so good. I mean, I would love to know what that feels like. I mean, that thing it's laid left, it rotates, it drives, it's never out of the racetrack, it's never balled up. Like, fuck, that thing is so good. Incredible.
Yeah, I bet it feels like sitting on like a purple Gasm.
Yeah, probably. Or even a red one.
Yeah.
Okay, Gio, obviously. I think he would have been way up in the 360 Nationals, a contender to win it. Had that line not burst on the power steering on, what was it, Thursday night or Friday night, whatever night he went. Gained no points in the heat race, won the B, and then drove up through the field in the preliminary night and the feature on Saturday. So I think I think they're going to be pretty good. He was good at the Cappy. He didn't make good decisions early in the race, so he runs 6th from 4th. But I think with just talking to him, I think he'll be pretty good. I mean, he's been pretty lights out at Knoxville. History would say you should bet on him. I think he'll be good. It's just a matter of getting through your heat race. That is the key of the entire Knoxville Nationals.
Master Gasser says the 1A is crazy fast last night too. Yeah, I watched his heat and I just thought that was just a little bit of not knowing your way around Knoxville. Car was good. I don't even think he did a bad job.
Yeah.
That's just, you need more luck. He basically needed to make a pass and didn't seem to know like all the options he had.
Yeah. And I think that kid's pretty good.
And I'm not going to trash him at all. I'd be, if I was working on the 1A, I would be happy with him.
Absolutely. Brownie's going to be good tonight. Brent Marks is going to be good tonight. Both those guys. I think Brownie will probably be elite, top few guys. Macedo, sweet, with his entirely new crew. Madsen, I think, is going to be really good. I think
Madsen at Knoxville all year has had plenty of speed.
Yeah.
There has not been a lack of speed in that car all year. He's like I don't know what you'd call him, but he's damn good.
Yeah, I agree. Larson, Parker, Buddy. Here's a guy I'd like to talk about, Tanner Thorson.
Yep.
Hot take, I don't think his motor's run. I think he's got a bunch of shitty engines. And I don't know who builds them, so someone's probably going to kill me. But I'm telling you right now, his car looks good. He's a hell of a driver. I think they have a horsepower problem. I really do.
100%. I think that goes with that. So, like we said on an earlier pod, like a giveaway of like someone good is that they don't time trial good, but they race through the field every time. That means you have a good car. That means you're making good decisions in the car. Yeah, I've never wanted to say that one just because I don't want to shit on their engine builder.
Yeah.
But I think it's pretty obvious at this point.
Yeah, no.
And it might not even be the engine builder's fault, like you don't know their financial situation.
I'm not going to blame the engine builder, but I'm going to blame the engine. I think that engines are the problem.
Yeah. I don't think that's a crazy hot take. If someone were mad at you, it'd be like, okay, well then explain why he qualifies terrible most nights, except at nights where you need traction and a good race car, and then magically he qualifies good.
Yeah, like honestly, like I think Tanner's fucked tonight. It's gonna have grip. It's gonna be wet. Like I think.
And this is kind of a thing. Like I can't actually see the track. Like there's things blocking I can see the whole track, but there's objects blocking the race surface from where I'm sitting. And sometimes when they know there's rain coming, tracks get the track like super hard and you get the exact opposite of what you think you're going to get. You get this track, they've got it so hard that then all of a sudden it can't take water like it should, and then all of a sudden you don't have the track. I think fans, if they thought back, would be surprised how often a night where there's been a pile of rain does not result in there being like all this grip in
Yeah.
time trials.
Well, like I remember one of the years that we ran nationals, Thorson was in another CJB car.
Yeah, the '88 CJB car. Yeah,
Yeah, he barely missed the show on Saturday. He was very quick. Um, and that was like one of his first times at Knoxville. So I don't think it's a driver problem there at all.
yeah. So if you had to pick a winner tonight, and you can't say the '57, who are you picking?
I'll give you three, and I believe that these three are going to be probably the three best cars of the night. If not three, I'm going to get two of the three right. Um, I think Parker is going to be really tough in the 71. I think that Brian is going to be really tough in the 21. That thing makes a lot of power, and he's good when the track has grip. He's good at making it through the heat races. And I'm laying up here, but I think the 7BC is going to be lights out.
Yeah. Well, the other thing we didn't get into, you mentioned it, is a thing that one of your thoughts was shots. What are we doing if we're Donnie Schatz right now?
I'm probably calling up Forbrook. I don't know. I maybe I'm just a crybaby, but I'm probably quitting. Like I'm probably gonna step away. Like I don't believe in my heart of hearts that Donnie's lost it. Am I gonna sit here and bash the race car? Nope, not gonna do it. But Donnie has won more races than anybody. He's been more successful than anybody. These tires are a little bit different, so I understand the struggling, but there's some sort of package out there that will work for him. He hasn't forgotten how to drive. He hasn't forgotten how to win. He's the guy that I'd be wanting if I was starting a team. I think if I'm Donnie, I'm just saying, you know what? For whatever reason, we're going to have to change this up, and I'm going to have to change what I'm doing. And I think I'm looking for a different outing. That's what I'm doing if I'm Donnie.
Yeah, I got a message that it stopped recording, but it is recording. So I think we're still on. Can someone just send in the chat if we're still on?
Do 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 do. How can I tell? Can I tell? Oh yeah, it says we're live.
Yeah, but does anyone, if someone's in the chat, can they tell us we're live?
We're live.
Okay, so we are still good. We're still rolling along.
Yeah. No,
okay.
We're good.
Yeah, it gave me a message, and all of a sudden,
Trey,
yeah, and
work, would you? Goddamn.
Yeah, come on, Trey. And then all of a sudden, like my camera went off my camera, so we're just gonna move that there.
So I think that like if I'm Donnie, and that's terrible to say, like just quit, but I just feel like sometimes shit just doesn't work, and sometimes you need a fresh start, and maybe for whatever reason, what he's feeling in a J&J isn't working. Maybe it's the shock package. I don't know what it is, but I dealt with that in the first up until last week, basically, where it's like I don't feel good. Do I think that Jimmy has lost his touch? No. Do I think that I've forgot how to drive? No. Something wasn't meshing. We changed some shit, and then bam, it's like, what the hell did we do different? So I just feel like they've been through it a couple times now. I'd probably just look for something fresh, and maybe it's not racing full time. He's got a lot on his plate. He's taking care of his family business, and I know that's a lot after his father's passing. And maybe he runs 60 races a year with a team that he builds out of his own shop and just hauls ass.
Yeah.
If Nolan got Ricky back, would he be back to championship caliber? Yes, I think so.
Yeah, 100%. I'm just trying to go through the comments. We got 1,000-year ons.
No, I don't think they should split qualifying, and here's why. Because
you and I massively disagree on this.
Yeah, so here's why. If you split qualifying, now you have two guys with high points. And why I don't like it is, okay, if I go out 35th and I'm quick time out of the second half of guys, but I'm fourth quick overall or eighth quick overall, I just think that the Knoxville Nationals is, you're qualifying against everybody. I do think Donnie in the KCP car would be wild, but I think that'd be badass. Um, I feel like we should go to a 6 car invert in the heat race instead of splitting. If we're going to do one or the other, I'm
Oh, you and I are way different on this. So my thing about, I think in theory the 6 car split invert works. But then when you think about, okay, what does a 6 car invert look like? And it's like, okay, that's all the guys that were on the second row basically. Now they're on the front row. So like that's putting Sam on the front row of his heat. I'm trying to remember other guys. I want to say Dietrich was in that spot. I think once you get that row, I think you're going to see a lot less transfers. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
now you've gone into quality where it's like, oh shit, now you've got this on. Yeah, real. It's so hard to go from 8th to 4th, but man, I think 6th to 4th might be harder than people realize when you flip it that way. Like, think of all the guys that were fast last night. Think of guys in the second row. Are you getting by Austin McCarl? Are you getting by Justin Peck? Are you like when you start thinking it through? Your points thing is something I've kind of thought about. But what I can say is what I'd like to see is it isn't actually split qualifying. It is qualifying against your like the 10 cars around you, maybe.
yeah.
And then inverting it. Now I get lots of fans that instantly like, well, you're going to get stacked heats. Guess what you get every time a track falls off? You get stacked heats because fast guys went out late and aren't where they're supposed to be. You get heats like that.
What is going on? Why do I keep hearing out?
Because my frigging computer connection is
It's
touchy.
all that after hours stuff you keep watching.
Yeah.
When the driver's
Yeah.
project
Yeah.
stops and the
Yeah.
motion comes out.
Then I actually do go looking for Gasm.
Yeah,
But
honestly, like if I'm being honest, the only thing I would change about Knoxville is I would put 3 to 4 cars for like qualifying at once.
yeah.
That'd be the only thing.
But to finish my point, I've actually gone through for the last 2 years and done the heats, and man, would there have been some epic heats.
Yeah.
Like, just in terms of like, okay, I'm gonna give me a second here, bear with me. I'm gonna name off the back 10 cars that were with Sam and I last night, and you tell me if you think this would have been a lame ass heat. Just give me a second here. I'm gonna read the last.
I was gonna go somewhere with something. I don't know where I was going. With the split qualifying thing, they did it at Skagit last week for the Summer Nationals, and it just didn't work for points. I mean, when you give 2 guys the same point total, I don't know. I just think it weights qualifying way more instead. And like when you look at guys like Gravel can still go out and lay a good lap down. I think that should be rewarded more so than, not really making it easier, but making it more even.
So here's what our group would have been if we had to run the heat race last night under our format. Dason Pursley, Sam, Gravel, Randall, Schaefer, Caleb Johnson, Justin Whittle, TK, Lucas Wolf, Brandon Spithaller, and depending on your math, Austin McCarl.
Bunch of shit.
That's a hard heat.
Yeah.
And that's like, you qualify first in that group.
Yeah.
Which would have been Gravel.
Yeah.
And now he's coming 8th from that. But I actually sat down and did the heats for the last 2 years, and I was like, oh shit, these would have been bangers.
I'll tell you
the way I tie broke everything though was like who had the faster lap in time trials when a guy. That's how I broke the ties when I tried to do like, okay, if I did my format, how would it look?
I'll tell you, like for me, the format that I think needs to be adopted immediately for some sort of big race is, it's $100,000 to win, $0 for second, full invert, 24 cars, and you keep going until there's 1 car left. No reds, no yellows. You just crash a bunch of shit, and I think we should do it at Petaluma. I think that'd be perfect.
Some people are talking about the 2 heat format. Everyone who likes the 2 heat format always seems to be really strong on it. I just don't know about track. Like, do you?
just, man, I like a two heat format too,
I've
but
never raced one.
I don't think that there's enough weak guys in the field for it to, like, here's our problem. This is the problem that we're talking about all these solutions. The problem is there's more even good quick race cars now than ever before. And I'm not going to say drivers, because I think back in the 80s, you probably had just as many good drivers, but now you've got all these really good, you know, target cars, I like to call them. You go to the store, you put your shit in your cart, and you fucking build a race car that Donnie Schatz and David Gravel and all these guys have. Where I think the two car is faster and some of these top guys are faster is simply because they've got this small little tweak of a rear end, or they have a small little change of a shock number. I mean, these tiny small things, and then you have a driver that is absolutely top of their game, which is why you see them very successful. But in the grand scheme of things, if you took 10th quick to 50th quick, I mean, those guys, you can interchange them and they're pretty much the fucking same, just like your top 100 list.
Yeah.
So the
Well,
problem,
the point we tried to get across yesterday, the point we were trying to make is it doesn't matter what format you do. The top 10 guys, they're making the show no matter what.
yes,
But 11 through 40 are so situational. It's so when you draw, where you line up in your heat, what you get in your heat. Do you get a yellow in your heat? Does someone drop out of your heat? It's so situational for 11 through 40. It's not even funny.
I agree. I agree.
Let's see what else we got here. Someone asked, Master Gassers asking about Randall.
That's a weird one.
All I can say is there's rumors. I don't know how true they are. That no, I don't even want to say it. Just there's rumors starting to go around the pits about their situation. I'm not going to elaborate any more than that. That's the one thing I want to say. This guy says I like Knoxville's format. I do like the
Yeah, I like
Knoxville
it.
Nationals format.
Yeah.
What I just can't get around. Like he says, it requires some luck. That's my issue. Is at the biggest best race of the year, I want to know who the badass is. I
Yeah.
don't want to know who got lucky. But the thing is, this race is so rewarding financially. If someone does get lucky, I kind of like that someone gets lucky and takes home $30,000.
But I do think that every single year we see someone get lucky and make it in that's like, wow, didn't expect that guy. I don't think we've ever seen someone get lucky and run inside the top 10. So that's where
Yeah,
I think the format is right. You know,
yeah.
it does. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. It's just, it's so tough that, when we
Well, I
see someone
think
not make it through, it's kind of a bummer.
Well, and I've said this on the pod. I think you're going to get a year where like every year it seems to happen where the fast guys don't get through on one night.
Yeah.
There's going to be a year where the fast guys don't get through on both nights.
Yeah.
And I don't even know. I'm curious what the A main lineup looks like. I think we agree David Gravel, Rico Abreu are two of the fastest four cars from last night. And yeah, like that's where
What I'm looking at tonight, if I'm racing tonight, is the points are a little sporadic. I think there's a lot of room for a good night tonight. I have to, under any and every circumstance, make it through my heat race. If I just make it through my heat race and maintain in the main event, I'm going to be the first 5 rows.
yeah, and yeah, like it's just really tough. Like I think in the other years when the fast guys haven't been getting through, it's like, oh, it was track conditions. Oh, it was this. Oh, it was last night was the first night where it's like, uh, that was just cars are too tough to get through.
Yeah. Well, and I think like guys that made it through the heat race, like Thames or like Axum, they did an exceptional job. Like I don't think it was just all gift. It was like they did a good job to get there. And then like what Ryan Timms did in the main event, like he could win the Knoxville Nationals.
Yeah, and that's where this sucks as a crew guy. I watched the 15H the whole race. I didn't watch Ryan Timms for a corner in the
I'm
feature.
telling you, it really was. But
Yeah,
I thought it was also impressive. Like Sheldon was really good, and we haven't even said anything about it. he even said in his interview last night that's the best he's ever felt or been at Knoxville. I don't know where he's at point wise, but he
I
finished
believe he's third.
He's third. Okay, so he's going to be eighth after tonight, ninth after
Yeah.
tonight.
Yeah.
Maybe 10th. But
Yeah.
I mean, and really, how many guys can get up in there? I mean, do we think we're going to lock in 12 from tonight? 10?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Someone said last night the most badass driver was rewarded no like 100%.
Agreed.
But I feel like when you put those top 10 guys in, it doesn't matter what format. You could have thrown any format Ryan Timms last night. He's probably going to win.
Yeah, I mean, I think Ryan Timms beats the 2-car last night, and the 2-car came from deep in the C and the B and all that stuff. But I mean, Timms was on another level.
Yeah, and then Dog Fan wants to know what our thoughts on the 49 is with the new crew chief. I think people overestimate the crew chiefs on the 49 car in terms of I think Brad makes more calls than people realize. I think Brad's way more mechanical than people realize. I don't think it'll be as much of an effect as you would think, but they did struggle at the Cappy for them. I'd love to struggle like they do.
Yeah.
But they did seem to be off. I don't know if you have any thoughts on them.
Yeah, I mean, I think Brad is the guy. Really, I think that, I say this story. I don't even know if I've ever said it on the podcast. Brad and I shared a rental car one night after Dodge City, Kansas, and we drove from Dodge City back to the Denver airport, which was like 5 or 6 hours. And I will say this: me and Brad aren't boys. We're not buddies. We don't talk. Probably don't even have that much in common, other than we have kids, and we're race car drivers at sometimes, for me, not all the time. But we get in the car and he's like, "Hey man, I'd love to bullshit and talk or whatever, but I got to make some phone calls." He picks up the phone. He called Casey. He called Justin Adams. Eric, I think, was on the phone. Maybe even Willie. And they literally had a powwow for an hour and a half or 2 hours, and they went over hot laps, qualifying, heat race, main event, what they had in the race car, what they were, like how they felt, where they thought they could be better, the racetrack. I mean, and they're having the conversation with Justin Adams and Casey, and they were racing somewhere else. And having that kind of conversation, I felt Brad was the leader of KKR. I really did. I felt like he was the guy that took the initiatives to make things better, to make changes. And, obviously I don't think he's been, stellar over the last 2 years, but I think a lot of different things have come for that. I think the tire change is different. I think there's a lot of factors now that he's a full-time promoter, but I was so impressed with Brad, and I really believe that the success is on Brad's shoulders. And I mean, the guy's balancing so much shit I couldn't even imagine. I mean, I feel like I'm balancing a million different plates right now between work and racing and kind of what I do. I mean, he is promoting events. He's selling his merchandise. He's driving a race car. Now he's his own crew chief. I mean, I don't know how the guy gets sleep at night.
Dom, if you want to keep talking, my computer was having an issue with the power cable, so I'm just going to switch the cables while you talk, and hopefully this doesn't go down. Yeah, if you want to answer some of the questions we're seeing there.
It would get boring without luck. I agree 100%.
I'm going to argue that. Some of the coolest upsets we've seen at Knoxville had nothing to do with luck.
No. Well, and again, I think your luck and my luck are different. Luck for me is getting into the show. Now, Tim Schaefer winning the Knoxville Nationals, I don't think is luck. Yes, Donnie blows up and Sammy crashes. If I remember, that's how it panned out. But he was running third of the Knoxville Nationals. You put yourself in position, and you're going to get lucky sometimes.
Yeah.
I was surprised Zachary didn't make the A. Yeah, I was too. But I mean, when you get buried in the B, you're fucked. I mean, we've seen it before. Like the night when Starks won the prelim night, there was a shitload of guys that were in the B main that, really good guys in the B main. So it has happened before, but that's why you got to qualify, well to be in the front of the B.
Yeah, like to put it in perspective, we timed in 25th last night. We started 10th. Like that's how many cars out-timed us that didn't get through. And like I'm saying, we're going to have one of these years. I keep always saying it. The sky is falling. We're going to have a year where both nights do that. And it's kind of like, what? But that might also lead to an interesting Saturday night A main.
Well, I mean, what do we want to do? We want to open it up for questions for like the next 5 minutes or something, or
Yeah, you having to log off here?
yeah, I mean, I'm probably going to need to get and do some sort of work
Okay,
today.
we'll do some questions here if people want to ask anything, whatever the heck they want. I'm mostly just seeing comments.
No, that picture of me
Tim,
in women's underwear is not AI. That was 100% real.
oh, that's just really beautiful. Tim Schafer's been low key in the 17th. Yeah, his time trial lap last night was awesome. I don't
Yeah.
know what his final time was. I know he time behind us, but his lap time was his time trial. I was standing in four to watch our lap. He went out in the group before us, and I thought he looked awesome on his lap.
I've got one for you. Um,
Yeah,
we're going to leave this one anonymous. Okay. The night I won a
yeah.
prelim, none of the fast guys had any problem making the feature. It was super slick, and I was just better than everyone. And I had the best looking Knoxville paint scheme of all time.
Yeah. So we're
The only
definitely
car that's
talking.
ever had yellow wheels. Wonder who that could
No shit.
be. Guy can't even
Someone
run a
asked.
360. He fucking runs
Jimbo
15
asked.
60 race.
Jimbo asked, "Does Sam have a fire under his ass because what happened at 360 Nationals?" Honestly, no. Uh, he'll probably elaborate more. He basically what happened is we were we ran our time trial, we ran our heat, we were in the B, and his crew guy came to him and said, "Hey, we're using more fuel than usual. What do you want to do?" And Sam said, "Just fuel up like normal." And the guy fueled up the car for like we normally would for a B main. We are not one of those teams that like tries to cut it close on fuel. Like we're the last team on the planet. You're gonna see like trying to cut it close for fuel. And then Sam pushed off for the B main, and our crew guy had like the light bulb oh shit moment and went over to Joe, who was just kind of giving his 10 cents whenever Sam wanted it, 2 cents whenever Sam was looking for it, and he went over to Joe as the cars pushed off, and he basically did a oh shit. I think I fueled this for a heat race. I hope there's not a lot of yellows in this B. And there was a lot of yellows in the B. And it's one of those deals where you can get mad, but it's like, what's it going to change? You're screwed. Like, there's nothing you can do. Uh, I would say if the next race was a 360 race, Sam might have had a fire under his ass. But at this race, when you don't run 410s like we do, it's kind of hard to have a fire under your ass. You're so busy. Like he came into this with four straight. He came into the Cappy with four straight top fives against the national teams and national series, but it was all on small tracks. So
Yeah.
like, there's no fire lit under our ass. It's like we're just trying to figure out what the hell we have to do to make the car good on a big track, and we're like working on that constantly. Like just trying to think through. Okay, like the Cappy was really bad for us. Normally we go to the Cappy and we have a really good Cappy. Our Cappy record is really strong. And if you look, we had a shit Cappy. And we we came into this very much searching. We had a direction, but we came into this very much searching. And we're just searching so much that you couldn't really be doing anything else.
See, like I think that Sam's fire under his ass comes from his micro penis. Like
Yeah,
that, I mean, that
probably.
lights him up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, there wasn't really fire under ass at this race. Like I say, we were honestly searching, and we honestly didn't find it until the A. Like we could have easily stunk in that A. We just kind of logicked our way to having a good car and did it really
Tonight's
fast. That's
tonight's
the
Jack
impressive
Anderson.
part to me.
Tonight's Jack Anderson is going to be Cam Martin. He's going to be good.
Let me look through the field quickly for tonight's
Yeah.
Jack Anderson.
I was so impressed with Cam's performance at the 360 Nationals, and like Danny is really, really good at working with kids and drivers and total, and just getting the best out of them. And I think you're seeing it with Chris. I think you're seeing it with Cam. But I really believe that Cam's going to have a good performance. The other one was Christopher Thram. I think, am I saying that right? Thram? Tram?
I've heard Tram and I've heard Throm.
Okay, well, that guy, I think he's going to be pretty good. He's fast on a 360. I think they'll be pretty good.
Yeah. Someone's asking, can you answer this? Will I come up with my
What are your
lineup?
thoughts on Ty Wolfgang helping Tanner Holmes out? Do you think it helps his chances as long as they have fuel in the car for qualifying? I'm kidding. No, I think it will. Tanner and his sister do a lot of the setup on their car, and Drew Warner has been helping the 18 out whenever Tanner's in the 18 and the 21's at the same racetrack. But I think it's just too hard to help two cars at once on the same night or the same weekend. So I think Ty Wolfgang could be a huge help for Tanner. Ty's been around a long time. He knows his stuff. I think that it could be very helpful for Tanner to just, hey, focus on driving the race car. And Tanner can kind of tell him, this is the package that we have. This is where I feel comfortable. And let's build off it and let's improve it. So I think that that's a huge help. I felt like Tanner had a good run last night as well. I don't remember where he finished, but I thought he was pretty good.
He was on. We were running ninth, and he was on us for the first half of the race. I think he faded in the second half, but he was the car following us or chasing us when we were running ninth in the first half. Man, I'm not seeing a guy that jumps out at me here. Geez, like Cam Martin's probably about as good a pick as I'm seeing here. I think a guy that has no.
I think
I
JJ
don't.
the main tonight.
He's like us. He's situational, like catch the right breaks, and he's a guy that last night would have capitalized. Like, say he was on the third row, he's that guy that goes to the outside and makes that move that gets you into the transfer. I had a guy here, but I just don't know if you guys view him as like a Jack Anderson. Is like if Jake Bubak had a good night, I would not be surprised at all.
Yep.
I don't know how. Like, I don't know if we're trying to pick a guy that like you haven't heard of, but I always think Jake Bubak's underrated. I always think he does a good job.
Well, I can tell you right now, there's very few guys in the sport that I haven't heard of. I had never heard Jack Anderson's name until last night.
Yeah, like I say, he's been racing here weekly. He's actually, I want to say, a third generation.
I believe
racer.
you're right. He said something about him last night.
I think I used to race with, not used to race. I think, in 360 Nationals, I think we used to race Johnny Anderson, who I believe was his dad. And then I think his grandpa might even be the most successful. God, someone help me out here, but I think he might even have won the Knoxville Nationals or been a track champion. Or I think he might even be in the Hall of Fame, to be quite honest. But
then you don't have a choice.
Just a little before my time. I think his grandpa was like really damn good, and then Johnny ran 360s, and he was damn good. Like he was the 360 Nationals regular A main. Jack, I want to say it was 18. I want to say last year in 360s he was really good, but really inconsistent. And then this year, like I say, he didn't race early in the year. I don't think he did, and then in the second half of the year, he showed some speed in the 410s at Knoxville, but you had to be paying attention to Knoxville to see it.
My last thing before we finish up here today, I think we probably should do this again tomorrow, don't you think?
I want to do it every morning. I don't need, like, at first I was like, we'll only do it if there's lots of people. Yeah. I have no clue how many people are watching. I still want to do it just because I like talking. You have to go through all three platforms to know. That's the only way you can know how many people are actually watching.
There's 20 people online. What the fuck? No, there's 500 on Twitter at least, or X, whatever it's called. The one thing I was going to say is the top 3 interviews being live on Dirt Vision. I don't know if I've ever seen that before. That was awesome. Back in my day, they didn't do that, and you were at the barn behind the grandstands in the front straightaway.
Yeah, that's the only thing that drives me nuts about that race is like, you can't celebrate. You're too busy tearing your motor apart to get tech. But I also don't care. I also don't mind that they're teching. But yeah, at first when we did this, I cared about the numbers, and now I don't care about the numbers. I just like bullshitting about sprint car racing.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. Well, how many cars does Team has junked tonight? I can't believe Timez drives wing cars. The other day I was like, where's he at? Like, what? Why isn't
I
he
was
running?
kind of I was kind of surprised he hopped in the one car just because he's parked when he was running 360s. He was parked about 2 or 3 cars down from us every week, and he was talking about how he's really struggling with like the curb in a 360. Now, I think that'll be easier for him in a 410, as you can probably attest to. Uh, but yeah, he's basically saying it was a challenge for him. So I was surprised he went to the 410s. But Timez is also a guy who like, hey, do you want to drive my 410 at Knoxville? He's not going to go, nah, I'm
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. Okay, I got a question for you. When did Taz and the BDS car split? When did that happen?
Early in the year. Early in the year.
Oh,
They had that big crash with Brad, obviously.
yeah.
I can't remember if there was another thing, but it ended fairly quick. Like I feel like Joe and I were working on the car one night, and I want to say like June, and Brian told Joe then that they were going in a different direction, but don't quote me on that. I'm going off memory and guessing a date, but I
Right.
want to say it was fairly early in the year. We're not touching that. I like where your head's at, Jimbo, but we're not touching that.
Needs to be 18. God damn it. All right, I'm out of here. I'm going to go attempt
Yep.
to do some work.
Anyone who tuned in, thanks for listening. I'll try to put this up so that it can be archived and people can watch it on YouTube or Spotify later in the day.
See everybody. I'll see you Saturday, Trey.